Talk to me. Is this one like the others?
One of the same black watches.
And it's not post-mortem lividity.
No. No, this is different. That's 6 now. 6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. No, it's not.
But I have something for you. The team has settled on a person of interest. Someone with ties to Umbrella.
Yo, what is up, guys? Gamerverse back again, once again, doing another video for you guys today, man. So today we are reviewing a really good game, a really cool game. I'm sure you guys have heard about this game by now. It's called Resident Evil Requiem, or you could say Resident Evil 9, if you want to call it Resident Evil 9. So what exactly happened? Why did I almost quit playing this game? In fact, I don't think I really wanted to quit. I was enjoying it so much, and yeah, this is just one of those games that I mean, it's probably one of the best, gonna be one of the best games of 2026. Besides obviously like GTA that's coming out, GTA 6 or whatever, but it's gonna be probably one of the best horror games that we get this year, and it is really good. I played it and I completed it. I got a good ending for the game. The game actually has some really cool choices when it comes to the ending, but yeah, let's get into it, man. This is my raw reaction and my raw review for the game. The game is good, and yeah, let's get into it. As you guys know how I do my reviews, what I usually do is I compile a couple of topics together, and then at the end of the video, I will give a final score. Hopefully, you'll decide if you do want to play the game or not. If you don't, let me know in the comment section below. And if you do, I want to know as well. So let's get into it. So, Resident Evil 9 picks up from the events of Resident Evil Village. So, if you haven't played Resident Evil Village, I would recommend play that game first. But if you don't want to play it, it's fine. Really, you don't really have to know what happened, but it actually adds up if you are a fan of Resident Evil like myself. I played every single Resident Evil game there is in existence. And yeah, like the game is really good. Resident Evil Requiem is really good. And what actually got me in this game was how pretty the game looks and how stunning it looks, and the tone and the shift. It does something different in Resident Evil Requiem. Capcom, as you guys know, Capcom's killing it. They've been killing it with the Resident Evil remakes, and then with Resident Evil Village, they knocked us out of the park when Resident Evil Village came out. And then this was so highly anticipated, and everybody couldn't wait to play it. And now we finally played it, and it is really good, I must say. It's a tone shift. You got horror elements in the game with some psychological elements, but it is still Resident Evil. You're still facing these creatures, these insane morphed creatures that you face in Resident Evil. But the gameplay is good, and nothing really falls apart in the game. The game is really good. Like, it focuses on quick moment stuff, and the build up is really cool, and the story is great actually. And in terms of the mechanics, you still get the basic. I wouldn't say basic, but it's turned up a little bit. You get some combat that's really good. Like, you can do some melee stuff even with Grace. And by the way, in this one, we do get to play from two perspectives, which Resident Evil has done before. Obviously, they've done it a lot with Village. They even did it with Resident Evil 7. Biohazard, they did it with that as well. But with this one, you do play with somebody called Grace, a new character that got introduced to us in Resident Evil Requiem. We get to play with Grace, and Grace is such a cool character actually. And we get to learn how she fits into the story. She's actually an FBI agent, and she ends up going on this adventure. And if you want to call it an adventure, it's kind of like a whole lot of nightmares in terms of what you actually face in the game. It's insane. But we get to know who she is and how she fits into the world of Resident Evil. Really cool. Her story is really great. I did enjoy playing with her, and you do get the option to play in first person, or you can actually play in third person as well. You get to enjoy it from that perspective. I ended up playing it in first person for like a little bit of her sections of the game, and then I ended up just making it third person because I just enjoy third person, I guess. But it's up to you. You can play the whole game in first person if you do want to do that with her. And I don't think you can do it with Leon. Leon's sections in the game, you do play with Leon. Leon is back once again, and he's old. He's actually old in here. You get to see the age, and he's getting old. Like he's 50 years old in here. I think he's like 50 or 49 or something. But he's old in here. But he's still really cool. He's still really that guy that you know him. He's still crazy, like in terms of the combat and things like that. He's still a really good character, and the moves that you do with him is insane. The weapons, the amount of weapons that you get in Resident Evil Requiem is insane, and the stuff that you can do to the weapons, you can actually modify it. You can add charms to your weapons. You can add attachments, things like that. And because Leon comes from the army background and he's involved with Chris Redfield, if you guys don't know Chris Redfield, then you really don't know Resident Evil. But Chris Redfield is one of the army's resistant teams that Leon ends up working for, and with them they got a large amount of weapons that they can use. And in the game you can use CP, it's called CP, I believe, points that you use to unlock different weapons and unlock different attachments. But Leon's sections of the game is really cool. It's more fast paced in comparison to Grace's sequences, but it's more like I said, fast paced, and you get to uh deliver and feel the game, like deliver fast paced combat shoot, and you actually do face bosses with Leon as well. But it's quite scary. Like the horror and the atmosphere is really tuned up, and it's quite scary. And in some instances, even stressful. Like some of the missions, some of the designs of the stages and the designs of the puzzles can feel stressful. But it's really good. Like I enjoy the tension in the game. Sound design is insane. The game's soundtrack is really cool, and what they did compared to like Resident Evil 7 and or Resident Evil Village, they took it up a notch with a larger scale. Like the game feels bigger, it just feels bigger, and even the bonus content in the game is insane. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. And the performance. I'm playing the game on PC. If you guys have a PS5, I'm sure the game looks stunning on there. But with PC, I had the game set to Ultra, and the game looks amazing. Even on my GTX 1660 Ti, a 6 gig graphic card, the game still looks really good. Like I wasn't able to get ray tracing because I don't have a ray tracing card, but I amped all of the settings up, and the game looks amazing. Zero stutters, zero crashes or any shader issues, none at all. The graphic settings was really cool, and the game performed really well in terms of the performance. I was getting a solid 60 frames per second throughout the game. No, actually not throughout the whole game. There were sections where you are more in like an open world vibe. The game dropped to about 30 to 40, but it wouldn't stay there for too long. It would pick up again and it would be smooth. But the optimization verdict, in my opinion, is great. I think it's smooth. Optimization in the game is smooth. It's well done. And I think even if you have like a lower end PC, like maybe like a 4 gig, a PC that has like a 4 gig graphic card, you might still be able to play it with the settings. You'll still be able to play it, maybe even with a 2 gig card, because Capcom really optimized the games very well. And in the past, I mean, Resident Evil Village performed super well on my PC, and with Requiem, it performs really good as well. Even though I don't have like a supercomputer or anything like that, so yeah, so those of you who subscribe, you guys will know my setup by now. But you can go onto my channel and check my PC specs if you guys are interested in that. Anyway, so yeah, zero glitches and no game breaking bugs at all. The AI in the game is really cool. I mustn't say the AI is really cool in the game. I enjoyed killing these AI, but they were not like stupid. I feel like they put a lot of work into the AI, and the AI performed really well in terms of like the enemy systems and their behavior, and as well as the UI, like the user interface looks really cool. Like I enjoyed going through the menu of the game. Like I mentioned, with the bonus content, you do really get some cool artwork that you do unlock after the game, which you can save directly to your PC if you want to. And there's some really cool like behind the scenes videos that you can check out. And then also as they have been doing with Resident Evil recently, since Resident Evil 2 remake came out, you get like this model editor that you can look at. So you can look at models of the characters, and then you can like adjust it and like look at it from different angles and change the clothing and stuff like that. So all of those are included, and also some cool bonus gear, like bonus things that you could wear. So different outfits that you can have the characters wear. Like you can dress up Leon in like Resident Evil 4 outfit, the classic Resident Evil 4 outfit, and you can put Grace in like a FBI outfit, or you can put her like in this like that bad A type of like apocalyptic look with her hair and everything. So there's a good amount of freedom in the game when it comes to like customization, and these settings are really good. I really enjoyed the bonus settings. Yeah, next I'm gonna talk a little about the characters, like the characters in the game and the story, without spoiling anything, because I know most of you watching this video haven't played the game, so I won't spoil anything. But the story is super engaging, and it's like very, very interesting. It's not flat at all. And the experience feels really, really true to Resident Evil. But like I said, there's some differences now with RE9. Like there is like a more of like a psychological side, a psychological horror in terms of like playing with Grace. So when you play with Grace, like I said, it's a first person perspective, but you do have parts when you play with Grace where you can't really use a weapon, and you have to use smarts. You got to use smarts to like outwit these enemies. So the story of the game is basically, like I said, Grace, you play with Grace, and she's looking for a cure, and she's a FBI agent, and then she gets mixed up in the wrong not the wrong settings, but she gets mixed up with things that she shouldn't have found it out. So she found out some things, and then basically the Umbrella Corp sends people after her because apparently she is important to someone, and the story is just super engaging. And then you play as Leon, and Leon's gotta go find her, and Leon ends up in his own story as well. But he does end up, finding her. But sometimes the game will make you feel like you might never find her. But yeah, I don't want to spoil anything other than that. There's a lot of turning points in the game. There's a lot of like climaxes, and there's plot twists that are really cool. And it definitely kept me playing. And the game improves very much throughout. The more you play it, the more interesting it gets. It's just such a good game. And if there's any specific moment that stood out for me, will probably be like the boss fight in the game. The boss fights are really cool. I did enjoy that a lot. And yeah, like final verdict, guys, is it worth playing on PC? Is it worth playing overall? If you guys that have a PS5 out there, think about getting the game, would you enjoy it? And then of course I'll give the game a final score. It's definitely worth playing on PC. I think it's a little bit cheaper on PC actually for those of you guys that are on PC, which I assume is probably most of you guys watching this video. But it's cheap on PC. You can get it on Steam for cheap, and it's definitely worth playing. You might even play it again if you want to, like replay it. I might replay it just because, but I feel like there's only two endings though. Sorry to spoil that, but there is only two endings that you can get. And I think you will enjoy it the first time around, but there's like no like there might be a secret ending. Maybe somebody will get to like a secret ending, and they'll reveal it. Who knows? But the cool thing about having it on PC, you can modify the game if you want to. You can use a trainer, whatever you want to do, and it's worth playing on PC. Definitely worth it. And in terms of like the PS5, the console players, the Xbox players, I think you could. It might not be that cheap for you guys, but I think it might be on Game Pass, right there. So if you have it on Xbox, it might actually be on Xbox. Nah, actually, it's not. So sorry, guys. I don't think it's on Game Pass yet. But it's gonna be a little bit more expensive for you guys on console, but it is definitely worth playing. So yeah. So in terms of like who will enjoy it, I think like if you're a horror fan overall, even if you haven't played the Resident Evil series, if you haven't played one game in your life, I feel like this you don't have to, because this game explains itself throughout everything. You don't need to know previous information, but it definitely helps if you know previous information, because then you know how to put the pieces together of the story. But you don't really need to be a Resident Evil fan. You can be a casual horror fan as well. So yeah, score for Resident Evil 9. Let's give it a final score. So final score will probably be, I think, a solid a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. It's a really good game. Like, it deserves a 9 out of 10. It could have possibly even could have been a 10 out of 10 if it maybe had more endings. It has challenge modes that you can do, but I don't think I'll really do that. But I think it deserves like a solid 9 out of 10, which is definitely a high score in the world of gaming. It's definitely a high score. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're planning on playing Resident Evil Requiem. If you've already played it, let me know. Yeah, guys, I know the game's been out for a while. I've taken a while to get the game. Okay, the game is quite expensive and hard to get. So, yeah, let me know. Like, if you're planning on playing it, if you did play it, let me know. I really do appreciate your comments. I appreciate your like the video, guys. Subscribe, and I'll definitely appreciate that. And as you guys know, I've been Gamerverse, and I will see you guys in another video.